All right, Rich Caston over here live. We're in Atlanta, Georgia for the first ever She Podcast Live event. And I mean, they knocked it out of the park. It's just unbelievable. The crowd, the awesomeness of this event. So alongside Nick Rodriguez with the tour. So we have the man of the hour here. Chris, tell us a little bit about the backstory of the She Podcast Live and what's been happening the last 3 days.
So She Podcast was created by Jessica Kupferman and Elsie Escobar as a Facebook group to support female voices. And about a year ago, they were thinking about putting on an event, and I said I'd love to help you since I've done Podfest and all these events. So we launched the Kickstarter at Podfest, and now here we are 6-7 months later with over 500 plus women from all over the world in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is going to be huge because it's a very historic event for female podcast independent voices. This is a very pivotal time and place in her story.
I mean, it's going to be one of these legacy events, and it's going to be the go-to event for this community. And we've interviewed most of the exhibitors and some of the sponsors, and it's the reoccurring theme is phenomenal, not just from the attendance and the exhibitors, but every person we said, they use this word community and a voice that hasn't really been just not just discovered, but has been vocalized or bringing together in one group.
Yeah, so is community a good way to describe, these last few days at She Podcast?
You could feel the community. I do a lot of events, and this show you can feel it from beginning to end, and it's what the special sauce is.
Yeah.
You can hear people laughing, having a good time in the background.
Yeah,
that's it's tough to build community. It takes time, care, and love, and they've done that over 5 years with over 14,000 women in their Facebook group.
Wow.
So that's where this was born out of. There was a group that they could collaborate all these years, and now they have a physical conference to come together.
It's going to be one of the signature conferences for years. And
This will be a very big conference over the years. So this is the smallest it'll ever be.
So speaking of conferences, you're the man, Podfest Expo. I've been to a couple of years. So talk to us about 2020, and then Nick wants to ask you about the new piece to Podfest as well.
So Podfest is growing. 2020 Orlando, March 6th through the 8th, and what we've done with Podfest will be in our 6th year. Next year we want to help other voices, other content creators. So we have Sports PodCon getting launched out of there, Podcast Editors Conference coming out of there, Audio Drama Con. We have Military Creator Con.
Wow.
We have
we need to do podcastworldtour.com.
Female influence course and how to speak. So there's a lot of different things going on this year at Podfest.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Sports PodCon?
So Sports PodCon is put on by John Largent out of San Antonio. He has Game Day Media.
Oh, wow.
So he will have 2 tracks, one for esports and one for traditional sports.
Okay.
And then it'll come together after lunch. It'll be the first time anyone's ever brought sports podcasters together under one roof. So it's a pretty amazing place.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been working on the sports podcast, and that's in your wheelhouse. I mean, what are your thoughts on something like that?
Oh, that'd be incredible. I mean, as Chris, as you know, usually esports and traditional sports, people are kind of split up. But if you find a lot of the times, they double dip, whether you are into esports or you're into football or basketball. So that's great that they have their own sections and then they come together after lunch, as you said.
Yeah, so, and I know, do you have a podcast yet in that space?
Yeah.
I haven't released it yet, but I have been recording episodes.
Nice, we got to celebrate at Sports PodCon.
Yes,
when you release your sports podcast.
Absolutely. Yes.
I say we shake hands on
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Deal.
Yeah,
Celebrate.
yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, we appreciate your time. I know you've been busy. Again, on behalf of Nick Rodriguez, the whole team behind the Podcast World Tour, we invite you to join us on the tour, whether you want to contribute to our crowdfunding campaign, whether you want to get some cool merch, right? Whether you want to participate in some of our, as a city ambassador along the tour, just visit podcastworldtour.org and join the tour. We'll see you on the road. Chris, we'll see you
on
March.
your next tour stop, absolutely.
Actually, one of the stops definitely will be March 6th through the 8th in
pleasure.
Orlando. Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Bye now.